Okay, here's a question for you. What do you think will happen to the Ralph Lauren brand once Ralph Lauren dies?
This actually, I didn't know Ralph Lauren was still alive. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Ha!
A lot of these like fashion houses, I have been such staples. I think from when I was born that I just assumed that they are as ancient as they could possibly be. Um,
Mm,
but what I think is really interesting, especially when talking about Ralph Lauren, hello, um, is the way in which I feel as though, um, like the brand emblems and their tags, I've noticed that I think Burberry was one of the first to do this. They like sort of went back to an old logo that they
mm,
once had, and this sort of moving from this like grandiose style into a really simplified version. And now I feel like a lot of these brands are going back because it also feels more individual and more personalized and more,
yeah,
yeah. They're
yeah. I feel like you could chat GPT a logo, but
mhm.
a logo with serifs, like a logo with that looks that looks like heritage, which is kind of weird because like you can also simulate heritage,
Yeah.
which if it sells, then I guess it's fine. But I feel like simulating heritage is a little bit of like a cheap.
Oh, absolutely. But all these like fashion houses have that heritage,
Yeah.
and it seemed as if as everything got slicker and sleeker, um, they moved with those times, thinking that heritage wouldn't sell the same way. And now I feel like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them are going back to wait, but we have these roots. We are reestablishing sort of like this luxury feel because I feel as though like they almost went sleek and slick to feel more accessible, and now we are almost reverting to a place that feels a bit more expensive and a bit more
Why
luxurious.
does the sleek equal not luxurious?
And I think that's a taste thing. To me, like I don't know, and this is new for me recently too. Is the feeling of individualism in a way, and how that feels more expensive than conformity. And I think that a lot of these brands fell in line with this sort of conformity and this sort of wanting to uh, look simplified, which made them almost all look a little bit uniform. It's like this is how luxury
Yeah.
looks. Luxury looks simplified. And again, this could just be a me thing, but I feel as though individualism and what your style, your personal style says about you, what you choose to put on, all this kind of stuff, that to me feels more expensive than looking the same as everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, even like the concept of a uniform is like who. That's interesting because like who wants to wear a uniform? But there is something about a uniform that is appealing to people
Mm-hmm.
in that. Um, that's a hard. This is a hard one because like it separating or like being an individual. Why is that appealing?
I don't think everyone has the appeal to it though. And I think that uniformity also provides comfort for a lot of people.
Yeah.
People that don't really see style and fashion as something that is either a necessity, and either they don't see it as a necessity because they don't think that that is something that puts value into their life, or they don't have the time and ability to access style in a way that makes them feel good about themselves. So then they will switch over to uniformity because they're like, well, if these 7 people that look like me all look good in this one way, I'll probably look good in that way too. And that takes the brain power out of
It
having to
does.
think about what I'm putting on my body. So let me switch over to uniformity. Whereas individualism, like those people that take the time to curate themselves, to curate their appearance, to curate what they put on. That to me personally is more exciting. That to me shows a more, I don't want to say established individual, but I guess there is like there is establishment inside of yourself that allows you to be able to understand what looks, what feels, what wears well.
It makes me feel good to see someone who's representing themselves or like looks like an individual and separate from the group, because at least I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
If you see a bunch of people who all kind of look the same or dress the same and look the same, I mean, that's good. That has its benefits in a way that like I don't necessarily, even though you could still do this, put them in class groups or like put them in create a hierarchy amongst them, because they all kind of look the same. So it's harder to do that, which is hence the purpose of the tuxedo is like to create the uniformity. But at the same time, it's like, what if I don't want to necessarily enter the group? What if I wanted to interact with individuals within that group? If they all look different, it would be a lot easier for me to like, maybe stereotyping is wrong, but like pick out who I want to approach first, usually based on the way they dress, the way they dress. That's I mean, God, it's too nuanced for just the way they're dressed, the way they're standing, if they stink, there's a lot there. But anyway, yeah, the branding thing is cool, because like what you're saying about the individual, we're back to Ralph Lauren, is like, once Ralph is no longer alive, is the brand so strong that people for 50 years, 100 years, however long into the future, will continue to look at the brand as, and feel the brand as horses and wood, and whatever you associate with this. If when you walk into a Ralph Lauren store, do you feel like now you old money? That whole thing, how long will that last? If the horse gets bigger on the stupid polo, will it, are they going to damage the brand because Ralph is not alive to put the hammer down if they try to mess with it? Is it so strong that it's going to last forever?
I mean, I feel like we've seen this with other fashion houses, though, that have lost their inventor, or and still, I mean, I don't know. I think about like Alexander McQueen and like the McQueen brand and how he started that. He passed, and now the brand is something different, yet with still the same heart.
What was the original? I don't know much about that. How was the original kind of ethos and vibe, and versus how it is now?
I mean, I think the brand has shifted into what wants to be mainstream, whereas when Alexander started the brand, it was so like, it was very couture. It was very like, it's not much ready to wear. It was very just like out there in the open, saying things, talking about things that people didn't want to talk about, speaking for and to. And then the brand sort of emerged when his sort of like badassery like got some like global acclaim, and it was like, oh, we can make money off of this. We can do X, Y, and Z. And after his passing, after the fashion house was established, it feels less. I don't know, and this I feel is true to me, is fashion itself is a little less willing to make risks and say things.
There's a lot of reasons why that is, but I mean, if you're talking about like spending money, that's probably a huge part of it, is like, do you want to take a risk? And this is custom is kind of this world for sure. Is like, do you want to take a risk with your clothing at what kind of investment are you willing to lose if it goes wrong, or if you don't like it? If you think you like it now, but you're not going to like it in 6 months. And so it's, what is it? The staples. Everybody gets the staples, and understandably so, because it's like, if you're gonna buy something, you want to be able to wear it. It's stupid to buy things and not want to wear it. You're an interesting person because you're like, maybe I should ask you like how you shop. Like, I mean, is it just on vibe? Is it just like if it fits? Is it, you like something? Why do you know you like it? I don't know. Is that a hard question?
I think yes and no. I love making a statement, I think, and so I am drawn to pieces that allow me to, even let's say like in a casual sense, I can feel comfortable in, but still feel exciting to me. And I think that's, when I shop, I like finding things that feel exciting to me. I have, of course, like, I'll have the basics. I'll have, like the plain pair of blue jeans. I'll have, the black denim. I'll have the, like, every basic color white top, or every basic color, like, t-shirt, every basic color long sleeve. And then around those, I'll put the pieces on top that make me feel a little bit excited. Just to, like, walk out in the day. I didn't always do that, and I sort of sacrificed, because, when you do wear pieces that are exciting to not only you, but also other people, that has people look at you.
Yeah.
More often than not. And I think that there was a fear of that acknowledgement for so long, for me, that I was like, oh, I would rather just wear something that no one's going to look twice at. Because,
why'd you do that? Ooh, juicy. Yeah. I'm gonna just make sure this is going. Yeah.
Because sometimes it's easier to not be perceived. It feels more comfortable to not be perceived sometimes. And for the longest time, especially like as like a queer person in the world, sometimes like being perceived is a little scary. So I would, throw on a pair of like Chuck Converse and like.
Can you just define what is being perceived?
I think I would define that as just like, the siren is playing in my head. Being perceived, I think, in my own definition, is when the world at large pays attention to you. Because like there are friends that I talk to and we chat and we perceive each other every day, so that feels less of, there's no risk really in that. But when you step out into the public, when I'm talking about being perceived, I'm talking about being perceived in like a wider public lens of like,
are we talking like just in public?
Yeah, like you walk down the street and instead of like people just walking and not even looking at you, like they will take you in for a moment.
For sure. Yeah,
that to me, when I say perception, like strangers taking you in.
Yeah.
And if you can wear certain things that no one would look twice at you, or you can wear things in which people will stare at you as you walk down the street. It's
funny you say that. So like sometimes I'll go out and I'll dress down.
Yeah.
And very down, like more down than sometimes my dress down is other people's like dressed up because of just the clothes, the chino, the custom chinos and the custom polo, and I might get looks because it's fitted nicely or it's a nice color or something. But then when I'm like straight up t-shirt that I've worn to bed a billion times and sweatpants, nobody looks at me. And sometimes I like that. Sometimes it feels good, However, that's a rare occasion. If I were to choose, I would prefer the looks, for better or worse. Sometimes I had a guy, he was drunk, and this is when I first started wearing suits. I bought my first custom suit. And I was catching the subway. I was on the platform and it was late, and I was and he was with his girlfriend. He was drunk and he was like, "Look at this fucking asshole." And I think this was like 10 years ago. And I looked at her and I said, "I'm sorry about that."
Cold.
Yeah, because I knew she would probably more likely like than not prefer he both behaved like me at that time and also was dressed like me at that time. But you get that, but you also get all the time. Gentleman's Gazette is a great resource for like kind of vintage tailored clothing, and also just tailored clothing rules and stuff that I love and I learned a lot from, and that I learned a lot from. And Sven Schneider, the guy who started it, he said that one of the things that changes is that when you start dressing nice and specifically tailored clothing, is people ask you for directions more often. It's almost like, who should we ask? He'll know.
Yeah.
It's that, but that's what the perceive is. Yeah. Sometimes you're perceived as an asshole. But we were talking about this earlier. It's like, oh yeah, well, chit chat with me, and you'll know very quickly. These are clothes.
These are clothes. Yeah.
These are just clothes, you know. Or you're perceived as smarter than maybe you all actually are, and that's where like you need your ego will catch up. You know, if you're have low confidence and you dress nice, maybe that will help your confidence.
You
boost it up. Maybe you need the boost. You should, you need the support. But the same way the other way around. If you dress terribly, whatever, I mean, these are so nuanced things, because when I say terribly, I don't mean like in a way that I don't like.
Yeah.
It's more of like
in a way that you like someone as an individual would not feel good in.
Yeah, I agree with that, because it's like, because like if you are dressed in that way that you just described, then probably, and we talked about this. It's like your body language might follow that.
Yeah,
same thing the other way around. If you dress nice, your body language follows. We were talking about the tan, how I got a tan recently, and I feel kind of like a tanned guy now. Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
and am I acting a certain way because I'm tan and because I got a lot of sun, so I feel good right now, and that is attractive, to people on the street. Like I got some smiles this morning. I'm just wearing jeans and a shirt, but like I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
So they felt it, but did they see the tan? Was it the smile first? That's what we were talking about earlier.
Or
anyway.
Did they all just like them in their probably the 5 seconds that they like clocked you, all of that bled together into one thing that allowed them to react in a way.
And I think it's you combine all these things together and you get tan, healthy working out, well-fitted clothes, and your confidence is in a nice place, and it's like those are all, to me, sounds like good things. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's great. But then, like, I had surgery last year, and I was in a horrible place. Horrible. Thin, tired, weak. I couldn't sit up. It was dreadful.
Yeah.
So it's like, right now, at this very moment, I am not in that place, and I feel great. So fucking feel great until it goes away again. My kids are, you never know. You're going to get old, you're going to get cancer, whatever.
We ebb and we flow, and to take the highs with the highs, and then when we are at those lows, know that highs are possible yet again.
Yeah. How many style evolutions have you had? And where did you grow up, and how did you dress in that place?
I like to say I'm from Philly, but I am from like suburban South Jersey. And I like to say that place, I coined it as like straight washing. This idea of just like, obviously as a queer individual, like doing my best to blend in with the straight majority of where I lived.
That's the Chuck Taylors or whatever?
That's the Chuck Taylors. That's the no holes in the blue jeans. That's like the Hollister t-shirts and the Aeropostale and the American Eagle, and and the zip up hoodies and all that kind of stuff. And that was sort of like, I grew up always admiring fashion. I watched Project Runway as a child. Like, my mother bought me my own little like sketchbook when I was a kid, and I filled it with designs within a week. Just because I'd always been drawn to what I consider elevated style. But growing up where I was, I didn't feel as though I could step into those things, and not be, picked on or whatever for that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I already was just being who I am. If I had, and I did not have the confidence to really stand up or access myself the way that I do now.
I love the way your vocabulary, the way you use the words. I really like it.
Thank you.
The access myself. I like that. It's not, you don't hear that very often.
Because I feel like now I'm actually accessing the person that wanted all those things back then, and that feels good to know that and to let that little person know, like, hey, don't you worry, we got there.
Okay, hold on, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, I don't like blaming anything on anyone or anything, because the word blame, I don't like it. But just in this context, if you were to blame anything for that, what would it be?
I hate to say heteronormativity and the patriarchy, but that's kind
Because of where you were?
because of where I was. That's kind of what it felt like. It felt like there was a predetermined way to fit in for, what I was perceived as and what I was socialized as. That to stray from that was a negative. And to stray from that was...
Why was it negative? Like, what would... Yeah.
That is a great question. I don't think it's negative now. To be who I am, I don't think it is negative now, but it was treated that way then.
When you say negative, you mean like it wouldn't have benefited you. It would have been a detriment to be...
Yes.
Is it a detriment to be different?
That's what it felt like. I mean,
regardless of whatever the difference, queer, or, emo, whatever difference, it's just the conformity was so intense or something.
Yeah. It was like you fit in or else in a sense. In a sense. Because it really felt like here's the way in which we act, we dress, we are. And if you are anything different than that, we will let you know and we won't be nice about it. Was sort of like what growing up felt like. I was one of 3 openly queer people in my entire high school, back in 2016, 2017. And...
Oh.
Yeah.
You're young.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you.
But yeah, back then, I was one of 3 openly queer people in my high school. And it was not a badge of honor that I wore proudly. But
Wait, why is that?
only because it was not celebrated in the way that once I got to college and I was surrounded by queerness and surrounded by different types of queer people, and then I felt like finally able to celebrate myself and the community. A community that I did not have prior to going to college.
Out of those 3, was there one of those 3, obviously including you because you're one of the 3, that was more outspoken than others? Or were you guys all equally as, I don't know, forward?
I think we all just existed. There was, I will say, the 3 of us never particularly interacted with one another. Mostly because I went to a vocational technical high school, so we were all split up in majors, and there was one in the culinary department, and there was one in the engineering department, I was in the theater department, and we never really had classes together and all this kind of stuff. So I think it was a little bit of that. But no, I don't think there was any one of us that was particularly outspoken.
But you knew though.
But we knew. I mean, we knew each other.
Yeah. But how did
whether or not we were friends per se?
But you all were open about it.
Yeah, we were more acquaintances.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting vibe.
Yeah.
And then again to go to college and what felt like everyone there.
What did you study?
I studied in college musical theater.
Okay.
It was traveling down that fun little road.
Yeah. What'd you get from it?
I got lifelong friendships.
Okay.
And I got a new sense of self and a proudness.
Did you come out more in that?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of performing, a lot of expression.
A lot of expression, but also a lot of permission. Permission that I hadn't gotten before. And part of it was permission, obviously, that I had to give myself. But another layer of that was being in a space in which I felt I could. And the space itself allowed for me to blossom. Because there were people trying new things and doing things that I had thought about, or maybe I was just thinking about for the first time. And I was like, oh, I could try that on too. And there were a lot of people in my life that looked at me and was like, hey, nothing really in life is permanent, necessarily.
Yeah. You can say that again.
Nothing in life really is permanent. And they're like,
yeah,
if you want to try this one thing right now for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months,
yeah,
do it.
Look, yeah.
If you like it, great. Keep doing it. If you don't, stop.
Dressing in some way and leaving the house is the best way to learn about your style, because what happens is you put on something and you I think very quickly, probably like in 10 minutes, feel like, damn, this is a mistake.
Yep.
Or I fucking love this. And I don't know exactly where that feeling comes from. Maybe it's responses from people, or just you just don't feel right. Maybe you just don't, this is not quite, and then you start analyzing what it is. Like, is it just this shoe color doesn't quite hit, or the shoe is too serious for the rest of it, or whatever it is. Or it's more like, see, your style is an enigma to me. And I want to learn more, because it's like the question of like, well, how do you describe your style is very, I feel like, okay, first of all, I want to know. I would love for you to answer that question. Allow me to just go first, just to paint the picture. Tom Fordian, a little sleek, a little sexy, not too modern, contemporary, definitely not vintage. That's me.
Okay. I guess, because like, do I describe what I pull my inspiration from? Do I describe what, like, because I would say, like androgynous 90s inspired, modern with love for couture, however accessible.
I like the accessible part for sure. I like that.
Because I feel like I could go all the way to the left with things, or I could stay in a place that if someone were to look at me, they could understand. Because I think of like maximalism, and I think about those people, and like I look at that style, and I'm like, I don't get it, but you feel good in it, and that's what matters. And then I look at, someone that is dressed really nice, and I'm like, oh my god, wait, I understand that look. And I would like to not necessarily do maximalism, but find a way in which my style can be elevated but still accessible.
When you say accessible, what do you mean exactly?
I think like understandable.
I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, the conformity part you were just talking about, I feel like that's may still be in you in a way, in this way you're describing. Yeah. But I don't see that as a bad thing.
No.
I see that as meeting in the middle.
And I think that it's important to do so. Because I think if I'm able to take the conformity that people know and also my own inspiration, which is far from that, and I'm able to find a place in the middle, I think that could bridge a gap for someone that is doing the uniformity and doesn't know, but can through me begin to find their way to understanding and appreciation and maybe even their own style through that.
That's very nice. That's very nice that you do. I mean, you know, I don't know if you're discovering this as you're living your life, or you're like purposefully, like actively trying to do what you just said. But it's very nice. It's a very like incredibly like weirdly loud, but also really subtle way to lift up people who were you back in the days.
Oh, that's my hope.
Is that right?
That's my hope and that's my prayer.
Damn, that's great. And that's awesome. I love that.
However, I look at kids that were my age when I was not doing what I'm doing right now, and they're living louder than I was. And part of me is like jealous because I'm like, oh God, I wish I had the courage to do what you guys were doing like when I was your age. And then another part of me is like, I hope that like what I do now is part of the inspiration behind that. And I was at a high school friend's wedding a few months ago, and her sibling is queer and like is so expressive in style and in personality and in hair and in makeup, and is beautiful and wonderful and such an interesting person. And I've known them since they were like a child, because like I grew up with their sister, and so to watch them evolve now, I saw them at her wedding, and I was like, I just want to let you know I am so happy for you, and I'm so proud of the person that you are, period. Like, this is so beautiful, and I hope that you feel secure in yourself, and I hope you know that, like, what you are doing is so wonderful. And they were like, thank you, but you also are the blueprint. And I was like, me? They're like, well, yes. And that to me, in that moment, I was like, oh, maybe in some way, me being who I am now is also helping people that, I don't know, maybe someone looks up to me, and maybe that...
Yeah. You say you grew up with this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up with their sister. So I've known them since they were like a wee one.
Yeah.
And to watch that
like
evolution.
like a child.
Yeah. And to watch that evolution of them stepping into themselves was so wonderful. And just to be able to like sit with them for a moment and say, I see you, I'm proud of you. I know stepping into what you're stepping into is not easy.
Can you be more like specific?
Like stepping into a outward, I want to say perception, but like stepping into being visually queer, I think takes a lot of
that's a good way to describe it.
Bravery, because there are people that are queer that they walk down the street and you wouldn't necessarily think.
What do you attribute that to? Is that like, because I grew up in San Francisco, and you know, a lot of gay men in San Francisco, and it's like, I feel like I attribute it to like generational. I don't know. It's like the outward expression. You know, sometimes when I look at somebody, I'm like, if you're not sure, first of all, I'm not exactly sure the difference between gay and queer. So maybe that's where I need to start. but like the whole like identifying if someone's sexuality by the way they look, you know, which by the way is queer a sexual out? Is it a sexuality?
Not necessarily. The way that I look at queerness versus like gayness or lesbian or bisexual, like queer is a lifestyle in a way. Queer is a movement. Queer is a way of life, whereas like gay is a sexuality. Gay is a, I don't want to say like trait, but like, because I don't think I would call straightness a trait. Maybe I would. I don't know. But we're like gay, lesbian, bisexual. That is, you know, sexuality. Queerness to me is more of a movement.
Yeah, I've never put queer in the same bucket either, in the same grouping as like lesbian.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like it's even the word lesbian sounds kind of like dated now, but like just it's so definitive. It's so like it has start and end points. The word lesbian has a start and end point. I don't see queer as like queer definitely seems way more broad,
well,
which is probably hence the curiosity.
Yeah, and I use queer as a way to label my sexuality and my gender expression, and put that together in one. That to me is like sort of.
Is that common?
I would say maybe. That's what I use personally, and I know there are other people, friends in my life that would probably agree with that. Like sexuality and gender expression mixed together to me is what I contribute to my queerness, or why I label myself as queer, as opposed to just like anything else. Because there are some gay men that are like, I'm a gay man.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, work.
Can I tell you a story that just happened?
Please.
So we were at the Equinox pool at Hudson Yards yesterday for my birthday, and I got a tan. And
Yes.
and I know a guy named there. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you his last name. I don't want to blast him or anything. But he's cool. I like him a lot. And he, you know, he was hitting on a couple people there, and I mean, I don't see a problem with that. Like,
Yeah.
why not? I mean, you're at the gym. Where else? I mean, fucking. It was just so interesting that like, I forget who it was, but somebody took the position that like, oh, this is not making me feel uncomfortable, but like, questioning why he's doing that. And I just thought like, I really failed to see the problem. I didn't see a problem. He wasn't like grabbing people. He was just hitting on some young people, young guys. But maybe that's the issue that people had, was like, well, what if that person he's speaking to is not gay?
Yeah.
But like, then say thanks, but no thanks. Like, what's the? I don't know. What's the?
But then the
I don't know what
question
the
is
hang-up
like,
is.
if he was hitting on women, like, you know what I mean?
What?
Like if he was hitting on women as opposed to like men, like no one would be like, oh well, what if she's not straight? You know what I mean? No one would be asking that question necessarily.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
But there is a kind of a collection of issues there where like there's the whole issues of like you hit on a woman, it's at a gym. What if she's there to just work out and she says, this guy's hitting on me, I just want to work out, and it becomes an issue. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you never know. So now you have guys not wanting to hit on women because they don't want to be branded as a predator. But like somebody was trying to brand him as a little bit like a predator, and I just was like, I don't understand why you can't just be like, maybe he's hitting on me, I don't even notice.
Yeah.
But like, I don't care. I don't care. Hit on me, I don't care. I just don't understand the problem. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I grew up in San Francisco. I don't know. I don't get it.
Probably,
right?
Probably.
That's why when you were describing like, you know, South Jersey, Philly, it's like, I think we went to Philadelphia once and it was fine. We were there for like a weekend. And this concept of what's the word, homogeneity, where it's like it's just like everybody's the same. You know, it's a bummer that exists. Mostly for the sake of the kids, you know, because you have all these kids who like are naturally curious, and it's not that people purposefully, maybe some people do this, but purposefully keep kids sheltered from things that they might deem wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
But in that, then it insulates them and creates a person probably with some problems later on, I imagine, because
And also,
it helps to have
children,
perspective.
Children are naturally curious, I think. I know I certainly was. I was a very curious child. And I think that I agree with like censorship in stages, because I don't think that we should ever expose whoever to whatever whenever, because I think that can be a little crazy and
For sure.
almost as damaging as never exposing them to anything. But you know, that is a certain, like, it is interesting, because there are people that won't tell their kids X, Y, or Z because they don't think that that's something that they don't want to be exposed to themselves. That's something that they don't want their children exposed to. Whatever.
They just don't want their kids to know, or
But with lack of education and with lack of like knowledge on things, that leads to sometimes just as much damage, if not more, than, I don't know.
Okay, I want to tell you a hot take.
Okay, I'm
Hot
scared.
take.
I'm excited.
And I'm pretty sure of my position, but I want somebody to try to convince me otherwise, because I don't. So like, let me make sure this is. I know I keep checking, but it would just be so sad.
Yeah.
If somehow it stopped. Anyway, so there's all this talk now about men. No, about. It's about. How do I say this? Not about that males can't be women or there's like this whole like women, men, males, female. And I think that I don't see the issue with a woman being any sex. I think a woman can be any sex. Mm-hmm. Like if you're born male, you can still be a woman. I don't understand why people are like, if you're born, you know what the problem is? They say, if you're born a man. I'm like, nobody's born a man, you fucking idiot. Mm-hmm. They're born, what, you're not a man? You're a baby. Yeah. You're not a man, you're a baby. Don't you whatever happened to becoming a man or becoming a woman? It's like, you're not born a woman, you're not born a man. You might be born female because biology and, you know, I get there's female plants, there's female animals, I get that. But like, being born male and I guess, I don't know, discovering you're a woman or feeling like a woman, whatever, becoming a woman, I see no problem with that. Mm-hmm. Because primarily my source here is that little girls aren't women because or children aren't women because of whatever, puberty or whatever. They don't become a woman. They're not whatever people define as a woman. And Peanut here is female. I wouldn't go so far as to call her a woman, or I wouldn't call Peanut a woman. She's a female cat. Yeah. Unless you, I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's weird to apply gender and sex. Like sex is what you're born with. Gender to me does not cross that.
Well, because gender is a social construct.
Yeah, it does seem pretty obvious.
It doesn't really exist. Well, it exists because we've made it exist, but it isn't something that necessarily exists in a tangible sense. Gender doesn't really exist in a tangible sense, and I think that there's something to be said about being socialized as a woman or being socialized as a man. Like
the boy gets the blue room.
Yeah, you know? exactly. And there's ways in which men and women and boys and girls are socialized based on, you know, their perceived sex and their perceived gender, which is incredibly interesting which is incredibly interesting to me specifically because being socialized as male growing up my entire life.
Being socialized as male.
Yes.
Or being socialized as... being socialized as... How do you... Because sex... The thing is, the socialization part is the gender part.
Yeah.
But male is the sex part.
And people then... I will... Like, yeah. No,
right?
Correct. However... People love to blend the two together as if they are one and the same, which
I know.
they're not.
Well, it's just because it's like people are, the concept of woman has been tied to fertility and vaginas and all this stuff for so long. That doesn't mean it's going to be tied to that in the future. I mean, you know, once we start, I mean, the fact that we're like borderline going to be growing people in artificial wombs. I think Sweden or some Danish place created an artificial womb. It's like in 200 years we're growing people. Yeah. And you're still applying all this shit from 1,000 years ago. You know what I mean? It does seem weird. Anyway.
Well, people also hate change, and they also hate having their... There are people that are so against curiosity and so against exploration because the thought of that scares them. The thought of, you know, their perception being changed is terrifying.
That's pretty common.
And so I think that's why some people are so rigid on this, which is interesting because I'm also like... You may never meet a trans person in your entire life. Yet there are people out there that have never and will never meet, you know, trans, non-binary people that are so against their existence. And that to me is so interesting because you could never meet someone from this demographic. Their life could never in any way impact or affect yours. And yet you still are against them. I'm like, why? If their life has no bearing on yours, why do you feel the need to have bearing on theirs? Yeah. And that's what's interesting to me. Is like, why can't you just let people exist and let people be themselves and let people express themselves, explore themselves, create whatever they want?
I mean, you might be going back to the whole individual thing again, you know, where like, if you're in a group and you're in a collective, it's I don't know. You probably don't want to shake the cage. You want to conform. You're used to doing that. You're used to conforming. Everybody around you thinks like you. You never met a trans person. You never met a black person. I mean, I have stories of, you know, a UPS driver at my old, where he used to work at North Berkeley Wine in Berkeley. He told me a story once. He went to the toilet at like a gas station on doing his deliveries. And there was a white kid who was in there without the parent because he was just using the toilet. Yeah. And the white kid was like, "Why are you so dark?" or something. And it's like, he never experienced a black person or whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's like kind of going away over time because, you know, it's just the way it is.
And social media, the accessibility and the exposure of all these things.
Yeah, the isolation of the past is not quite it's not happening in the future as much. Hopefully not.
Fingers crossed.
But anyway, I just find it interesting, you know, because it's like, I studied science. Yeah. I'm a science guy, and everybody has opinions on things. Mine are just based on like psychology. Yeah. You know, why people do things is interesting. That people do things is not. Yeah. Do whatever you got to do.
But can I know why? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious why, for sure, you know. And you describe you describing where you grew up, fitting in, and then discovering or learning and being supported by the people around you in college, to express yourself more so in maybe ways you wanted to, but not that necessarily you were being repressed, but that maybe you felt that way, but like that the stages of your life kind of influence each other. I mean, you looked back at your past and that drove your decisions into the future. And now it's a weird, like, to me it sounds like it's a weird combination of like, or interesting combination of like expression, but also hand down to like pull up people by the your moderate dress. You probably you could go further, and I'm sure you have, and
yeah.
sometimes do, based on circumstance.
Yeah.
You go into a wild party, fucking turn it up.
Yeah.
Turn it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, you're not there to, you know, help everybody all the time. But even then, maybe it's still in there somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's great because that's how I do it with. I totally cut you off. I'm sorry, but that's how I do it with wearing tailored clothes and looking good. It's like I like when, and I think most people do this. I think, but I like when somebody is like, "Wow, you look great. I want to do that too." You know, which is, I don't know. Sounds like you were.
And that there is inspiration.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
I don't know. That to me is a gift you can give. Not only yourself, but someone else. It's like...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so... And it's like wordless. It's great. It's something that's almost like discovered by the person.
Yeah.
You don't have to convince them. You're just presenting a choice.
Yeah. And it's there, and then they get to choose if they want to take the chance on that.
Yeah. I mean... you know, taking risks with how you dress. I understand why we're back to what we were talking about. Yeah, you know, you're conform, blah, blah, blah. But also, like, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
You know, it takes
absolutely.
mental energy. It takes time in the morning. It takes time the night before.
All my friends make fun of me with the fact that, not make fun, but like they poke at the fact that like it does take me about 45 minutes just to figure out what I want to wear in the morning.
Really?
And I will change like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, see, that's rough.
But like,
For me, it'll be hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can only do it once. I can only change once. I can't change 4 times.
I'm always okay with a little fashion show. Is
Yeah.
the thing. Putting clothes on is one of my favorite things to do. And so if I have to like, oh, this doesn't fit exactly the way I wanted to today, great, let me try this instead. Let me blah, 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 blah. I kind of live for that a little bit. But no, because it is like I also have this curse of like I can't leave the house without running into at least 3 people I know.
That's nice.
And I thought I was going to get away from that when I moved away from like my small town in Philadelphia, blah, 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 blah. But then I moved up here to New York and I'm like, oh no, I really can't leave my apartment without running into at least 3 people that I know. And so that also makes me feel as though I need to be a little bit more on when I am putting on clothes in the morning. Because if I am to run into someone, I hope to at least be giving some semblance of my best.
I like that. It's very nice of you to do that. I mean, you know, I agree with you. Sometimes, like, when I'm dressed, like, very down, people are like, what's wrong? What's going on with you? I'm
Like, are you okay?
I didn't mean for you to see me. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know? I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Are you planning to, like, brand something you're working on? Are you just interested in brand?
I think I'm just interested in brand.
Just like,
I think that is one of the most useful tools that anyone can really have in their arsenal. Understand, you know, brand, not even from like a like professional sense of like business, but also from like a personal sense of personhood, and how like branding allows for opportunity and allows for, you know, like a gravity to you that makes you marketable.
When you say gravity, you mean like appeal?
Yeah.
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 I think about, I mean, especially with I don't know, pop stars, I guess, to bring up an example that is outside of business per se, even though being a pop star is, you are your business. But looking at the ways in which, you know, there are certain people that it takes them 10 years to find like a brand of theirs that then becomes marketable to a mass audience. And I think about like Sabrina Carpenter, for example, how like, you know, she was a Disney kid 10 whatever years ago, had a totally different style, had a totally different look, had a totally different aura, and now 10 years later has something that is insanely recognizable and feels so true to her and so much of her that to see anyone do anything that is even remotely similar feels as if it is an imitation.
Yeah.
Even if it is that individual's, you know, even if it is what that individual feels drawn to, or it could even be completely different, but to an untrained eye feels similar, and it's like, oh, but that's her thing.
What is
How
her
are you doing
thing?
that? She does like it feels very like baby doll dress-esque, feels very like corsety, and like she's got these like high rhinestone boots, and there's a visual to her that feels instantly recognizable.
But she doesn't come across as weak.
No, never.
See, that's the thing, though. Is like she's like hyper feminine,
Yeah.
I guess, and a little bit sexually feminine, and but like not a doe.
No.
Not yeah. That's interesting.
And so,
Maybe she came around at the right time.
and I think so. I think there's something about the way in which she is, you know, marketing herself and branding herself now that feels needed by certain people. And then to take it to business, like what is, and I think even, you know, back to Ralph Lauren, like, has that company branded itself in a way that it can stick to, that remains marketable? And how do you find individualism for your brand so that it feels inherently recognizable, but also appeals to a mass audience?
How?
So that you can, you know, garner that support
How do you
and that reach.
when you say find individualism? That's interesting to me because like, how do you do it? I feel like some brands are like, do it through shock. I saw I don't want to call it a billboard or whatever, poster on the subway, and it was like for tampons or something, and it's like, well, if I don't, there's like a chat box or something, and this woman, there's somebody had chatted, if I don't get rid of this heavy flow, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was shock.
Yeah.
And that's like the kind of thing where like, in a lot of these writing rooms or wherever they figured that out, it's like, what if somebody kills themselves and then sues us because they saw the ad, and they just don't even want to touch that kind of
Yeah.
shit. But then some people, some women or people who, you know, use tampons are like, yeah, some days it's like, I hate this shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, they're not gonna, maybe they won't kill themselves because they're down on their period, but like, they feel that it resonates with them.
Yeah.
So,
To use hyperbole. In
Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
so it's like, I don't know. I feel like, okay, some brands do it through shock. Some brands do it through, I mean, Ralph Lauren is a weird, I don't know if branding has changed from, it's not, the psychology of branding may not have changed, but the method and the timing or whatever has changed from 100 years ago. I mean, you know, a brand becoming popular in a year, I feel like is a new phenomenon. That wasn't doing that in the 20s.
To have that like skyrocketing of it all. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
The
because
virality.
of social media and shit. The virality, yeah.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with like the David protein bars.
Yes.
Yes, that I had no idea what those were, and I was like, oh, just another protein bar in my, you know, bodega. Like, oh, cool. Then their Subway ads launched, and it's just like full white backdrop and just like a life-size shot of just the bar. No words, no nothing, just the bar. And that to me was like so intriguing. I was like, it's it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to tell you anything. It doesn't need to have a slogan. It doesn't need to sell you a person that is selling you the product. It is just what it is.
And you know what's like that? Really good movies.
Yeah.
Really good movies. When you watch a really good movie, it's not your hand's not held. You know, you're just watching the people do what they do, and it's not like, oh, you don't feel yourself, oh, I'm watching a movie and these actors are acting.
Yeah.
If you're doing that, then the writing sucks, directing sucks. You're not in the movie.
Yeah.
But that's, you're being sold on David bars, but nobody's saying, but this bar is great because it's fucking has 20 grams of protein,
It just is what it is, and it doesn't try to be anything more than that.
Yeah.
And that's successful for that. But then, with your company that you are in the midst of right now, like, how do you find an identity to market that doesn't feel forced, that doesn't feel, over exaggerated, and then, but also still feels accessible to a mass amount of people so that they are invested in your product and want to invest in your product.
As opposed to all the other protein bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I know the David protein bar is pretty wild. I haven't even had one.
Yeah.
And I vaguely remember the poster you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I do remember it, but, like, it wasn't on my radar necessarily. And then there was some controversy about them recently. I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, but I did hear that there was, like, they maybe were, like, lying on the calorie count or something like that. Maybe it was an accident. I don't know. But I'm of the opinion now with this company that we're working on, Roblero, which is my dad's last name and my grandfather's last name, and a tribute to them because I found out recently that he's not my biological father. Did you not know this?
No.
Really?
This is actually also crazy because of something that's happening in my life personally, but anyway.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I want to hear yours too. I'm not going to forget mine. I guess you're not going to forget yours.
I'm not going to forget mine.
What's yours? I'll come back to mine.
I have a woman that's been trying to contact me for 5 years that she texted me the other night and I finally was like, girl, leave me alone, please. I haven't been responding to anything you're saying, so please stop.
What is this person trying to do?
She is claiming that my dad is her biological father. Oh. And she's like 11 years older than me. And the other night she like sent me her adoption papers with like my dad's signature and like all that. And so it's weird. It's interesting that you're saying this.
That's
where you're like,
interesting.
found my dad's my biological father, and I'm like, I'm finding out that I might have other biological siblings. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you kind of believe it based on what you know about your dad?
No.
Really?
It feels like the most far-fetched thing in the entire world.
How'd they communicate with you?
She like found me on Facebook, and then she like found my email, and then she like found my phone number.
The adoption thing and stuff, mine was like undeniable because it was a DNA test, and we believed it. My mom was a frisky woman. But anyway, so we found out, and I'm Italian now, or by blood, and there's so many questions, like people, this whole like white privilege type conversation stuff that goes on. It's so bizarre to me because I Googled when I found out that my biological father is Southern Italian, but mostly Greek heritage or Greek born. He was born in Athens. Is that I Googled are Italians white people, and it said yes because I genuinely didn't think of it. I thought I was Hispanic, as Central American, Nicaraguan. I thought I was that my whole life. To a point, it was always people always thought, and I had to correct them. No, I'm not this. I was called a skinhead once, and but it's weird to like finally discover that you're not Hispanic. You're this white, mostly white person, even though my mom was Cherokee Native American, and anyway, and now I'm just like, yeah, your racial tribalism is a really hard sell to me right now because was I white? I don't know.
Yeah.
Where do you? Okay, it's a jump ball at that point. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's a long story, but we're Blair the company and the clothing company and branding and standing out and creating a brand and you know, why me, why this company, why any company, why David Bars, is like, what are you giving the people? That's my view.
Yeah.
What are you giving the people? The reason why we started the company and why I started it is because clothing companies, when you're looking for tailored clothes, where do you go? There's a handful of them, you know, Suit Supply, blah, 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 Enzo, blah, blah, blah. You have all these places. The problem is they're all kind of the same.
Yeah.
We're like, you know, it's facility, fabric, make it into clothes. Here's your clothes. See you next time. That's it. I don't care. All the other shit's fluff. And then they grow, and as they grow, they start hiring people. And these companies don't want to spend a lot of money on people. They just don't. I mean, unless you're going to like super fucking high-end shit, even then, the companies don't want to spend money. That's kind of the point. But so they're hiring all these people who like know just enough.
Yeah.
And so I always equate stylists to mechanics. Where like, if a person's coming to a stylist or going to get clothes from somebody, and they presumably don't know as much as the person who they're getting the clothes from, just like if you go to a mechanic, why wouldn't you would change the oil yourself?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So you're kind of at the mercy at these people's perceived expertise, like doctors. You know, I mean, doctors are a little more tangible because it's like, do I still have the cancer or not? You know, at some point. But so for this company, and this podcast and everything is like, what are you giving back? This is giving. I mean, I've done stand up for 15 years. I've been doing styling for 10, and I study psychology, and it's like it's kind of like what you're doing with your style and your output is like you're drawing all this together and you're putting it in a direction, wherever that is. I'm putting it toward customers, viewers, and I'm not presuming to know what I don't know. And that's it.
Yeah. And being honest about that.
And being honest about it, you know, and also being like, I'm an American man, you know, and as one, especially as one with a mother who was a prostitute. I love her so much. My siblings would hate me for saying that, but you know, I love her. She was, not like, you know, she had a rough life. She had a rough life, and I love her, and I still do. She's been gone for 10 years ish, and but like, you know, outspoken and sharp teeth and grew up rough, and you know, there's this quote in the movie Avatar. I think it's Avatar: The Way of the Water, the second one. There's a new one, the fire one. I haven't seen that one. And the bad guy says, first I'm nice and then I'm not. And I love that. I love, because that's kind of how I am. In that it's like, I love everyone.
Yeah.
But I also don't like being fucked around.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. Maybe some people do. I don't know who those people are. But I don't think I ever want to.
And I think that I feel very similarly. I will, however, with a caveat. But I was like, I'll be nice to you until you're not nice to someone I love, or you're not nice to me. And then I don't fuck with you anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you know, for me, it has to be malicious.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There has to be, yeah.
Because it's like, you know, I can't have sharp teeth, but also be sensitive.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so this podcast, I hope what it does is creates background noise for people, but also kind of blends like the realities of life with a business. Because there's too much, kind of like what were you saying earlier about, about how heritage, all the way back to the beginning, the heritage brands are like going back to their roots or something, you know? It's like, because there's a couple of things about brand that I think are true. Young people don't like being sold, understandably so, because, and maybe this has always been the case, but because they're skeptical, they don't want to be taken advantage of. Companies, especially the bigger they get, become like machines.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like, you know, you're buying the bag so that it has the logo, and that's fine, but that's it. That's where it ends, and it starts to blend into other shit. Because you have that logo, that then it infers to me that your behavior is XYZ, because you're showing off this brand, and it's part of your output to the world, which then I'm interpreting. So I think that it's important for brands nowadays, especially because, first of all, there's so many of them, and also there's so much competition for eyeballs. I forget what it's called. It's like when you basically the view. Oh God, what is it called? Whatever. It's like the viewership stage. Oh God, it doesn't matter. Is this a real place? Is this a company that is like, you know, run by venture capital people who just want to pump clothes and get them out to people? No. Will it become that? Maybe. Will it become that while I'm alive? Hopefully not.
Yeah.
And that's it. Trying to keep it honest and real.
Yeah.
That's all.
Because you're also right. Young people do not like being sold to, and we've learned from years of scammage to be fearful of the potential of something not being legitimized. But I feel as though, like you were saying, partnering this with the growth of your new company, like, it legitimizes you, it legitimizes the product, it legitimizes and creates also comfortability amongst potential consumers that, you know, now knowing you, seeing the product, know that this is something that if they were to invest in, they would not be unhappy with.
I hope so.
What they received.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, you know, I've made a lot of mistakes. I don't want to make those mistakes with my company.
Yeah.
I made those mistakes on other designers' names, and not that I intended to do it, but, you know, I was learning, and that's how you learn. I'm still learning, but I don't want this to become a fucking commercial for Roblero, but you know, I'm not. A lot of the people who I've worked with are finance dudes, finance folks, and they tend to like their clothing to be uniform.
Yeah.
But they themselves are not uniform.
Yeah.
There's huge varieties of people that work in finance. They might not look that way because it's not about that. It's about the business. It's about the business transaction. It's about trust. It's about other things. It's not about your fashion sense. However, they used to, their ties used to be the way they can show off their identity. But now they are in this weird stage where it's like, how do I show off my identity? They're looking for it. Yeah. And there's very subtle ways to do it, and there's very extreme ways to do it. That extreme bar is nothing compared to what you're willing to wear. It's like nothing. It's a slight change in the lapel. Yeah. Very subtle. But knowing that wave and building from the conformity up to the people who want the purple velvet pants. Fucking, I would love to make somebody purple velvet pants. Are you kidding? High-waisted, thick waistband with two side. I like side tabs. I like side tabs because they're metal, and especially if they're big, Not on everything, but like on this particular item. Two big side tabs on both sides with a thick waistband, 6 centimeter waistband, maybe even more, and maybe like a single pleat down the front. With a slim, not a column leg, but like a slim at the thigh, not hugging, but slimish, into a bit of a flare.
Yeah, a slight little bell.
Yeah,
Slight little
and
bell.
maybe a slit up the side. I don't know if the front, maybe a slit up the front. I don't know, or maybe no slit. Depends. Oh shit, that's fine. That's just that's fallen before. I'll have to get that later. That would be so cool because velvet's a little bit, especially the velvet we have. Velvet's usually kind of heavy. It depends. If it's synthetic, it can be lighter, but it tends to move differently than a cotton velvet. I prefer a cotton velvet because I like the natural feel, and I don't like my velvet to be too shiny.
It's also like it also like gives a there's a luxuriousness that comes with weight.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
That's interesting you say that. There is a luxuriousness that comes with weight. It's interesting to dissect why that is. When something flows, it could be 100% silk and whatever and flow nicely, but there's a weakness maybe that is associated with something that flows. Like almost like, is that like a home gown?
Yeah.
You know, in which case, is that a luxurious piece? Okay, for I guess why is the weight associated with luxury?
I think it's something to do with the heavier something is, the more it feels more quality to me personally. Like when I pick up, and I think it also has to do with the fabric itself. Like if I'm picking up a lightweight velvet versus a heavyweight velvet, I'm thinking that the heavyweight velvet is going to be more expensive because the sheer weight of it, to me, just means that more went into it. And therefore, that feels like more expensive than if it were to be like a thinner, lightweight velvet. Now, that's not necessarily true, right? Because sometimes, like, you know, the thinner and the finer and the lighter the silk, the more delicate that feels, the more expensive that feels.
Sure, yeah.
But there's something to do with, and this is even like in makeup, like when I'm holding a compact, if it feels heavy, it feels a bit more expensive as opposed to something that I can just like throw around and whatever. That's like a lightweight plastic that like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how like our primal this goes. Like, is it because it can be used in different like the heavy compact can be used as a paperweight?
Yeah.
Is it like just sheer tool aspect of what we're talking about? I mean, when it comes to clothing, it's like the thin, you know, super expensive, whatever it is, sleeky, silky thing might be weak if your house is on fire and you have to run out the house.
Yeah.
And it tears because it's pathetic and weak.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just the utilitarian part, maybe. And I don't know why. I don't know if everybody feels this way or if just we feel this way right now. It seems like we're aligned. Is that the utility of something is, I'd say, as valuable. I don't know about more valuable, but at least as valuable as its, you know, I don't know, intangible value. What do you think?
I also think that you can put value on something or take value away from something based on the way in which you choose to utilize it. In a sense.
Yep. That's great. I love that. Because if you had this silky thing and you ran out of the house, I know this is the way I think, and then you get a cut, like a really bad cut, then that silky thing might work better as a tourniquet. If you take it off, you roll it up,
or
it's
even
strong
rip it
and
easier.
thin. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know, because I have a pair of like really nice silk cashmere like pajama pants. They're like so soft, they're so comfortable. But I like pants. But I like they retailed for like $600 whatever. I just wear them around the house.
Nice. That's the best
I
way.
wear them cooking dinner. They have a couple stains on them that like I just haven't had the heart to like get them out yet because like you can't really, I don't know, can you really throw silk cashmere into like a washing machine at random? And
If it has stains, maybe.
But like
Maybe you should.
Maybe you should. But you know, like that. But they have this retail value of something that, you know, that's not that to me personally, $600 is not light money to drop. But like the way in which I utilize them, you would think I got them at Kohl's for like $30.
But that's like that's like to me is like you buy a really nice couch and then you cover it with plastic or some kind of protective thing because it's a nice couch. It's like you're not. I have a great story about this, by the way, but you're not appreciating. You're not. How do I say it? You're not using or appreciating the thing that you just spent all this money on. You can't even feel it. So somebody came in and he came in wearing a cashmere sweater. It was like almost white. It was like a eggshell cashmere sweater, and he was trying on a suit, a jacket. And I asked him, I was like, "Do you have anything under that sweater?" He's like, "No, I'm just wearing it on my bare skin." Mm-hmm. And at first, I thought like, it's a cashmere sweater. I knew it was. I think he already said it, but I knew it was a really nice sweater, and I knew it was like a really quality sweater because it looked like it, and based on how much he spent on the suit, I'm sure it was very nice. Mm-hmm. But it's that color. It was hot out, and it's like you're like gonna sweat in it. Mm-hmm. This really thing, you're gonna ruin it. But he told me, he said, "Why would I put some cheap cotton T-shirt in between me and this amazing fabric?"
Yeah.
Duh. And ever since then, I was like, "Why am I wearing these nice sweaters I have, and I'm basically not feeling them?"
Yeah.
You know. Now I don't wear T-shirts under sweaters ever, really.
Because what did you spend the money for? If you're not going to enjoy the full experience that it has to give you.
People hugging you, they get to enjoy it more than you can.
And I think that there's something to be said about, you know, keeping something in a good condition so that it has longevity. But I think there's ways to do that don't diminish the experience you have with it.
And what's one way?
Like, washing denim. Hot topic. Washing denim. People are like, you should never wash your denim. And to some extent, I agree, because the more you wash the denim, the more the fiber wears down. Like, I have ripped countless pairs of pants that are like my favorite pairs ever because I would wash them every time I wore them. And I would wash them because I loved them and I wanted to keep them in, you know, clean and whatever. But because of that washing process, I ended up ruining it.
What's this? Is this denim?
This is denim, yeah.
Do you wash this?
This is denim. I have washed it like twice since I got it.
Really?
Yeah. But it's also like I don't wear it that often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, washing denim is something that can damage the denim itself.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess the equivalent of that. First of all, I wash denim.
Yeah.
I don't care. I wash it.
I will wash my denim, but I'm not going to wash it every time I wear it.
No.
Yeah.
And the equivalent of that is wool jackets, wool suits. Mm-hmm. I don't like the word suit. I want to think of an alternative. I hate the word suit. It's so fucking stupid. It's just a matching top and bottoms.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. When people think of the word suit, they think of like either blue suits or like some ancient guy in a gray suit or old people. It's just so stupid. It's all it means. The word suit means to follow. It means the jacket follows the pants follow the jacket because of the same fabric. That's it. So one day we'll figure out a new name. But you don't dry clean them often. I do not like dry cleaning my unless it looks dirty or it stinks. You just brush it because it will wear it down. As you dry clean it, the chemicals will wear it down, just like if you wash denim a lot. Anyway.
So you can enjoy that, but then and also keep it in good condition.
Yeah, and one of the best ways to keep your clothes in good condition is don't wear it too often.
Yeah.
Duh. Obviously.
Just look at them. Just look at the clothes.
So will you tell me what you're doing tonight?
I am off to Brooklyn.
Can you tell me more about what you're doing?
Yeah, I wish I knew more about what I was doing, actually.
That's great.
That's great. I know the outfit I'm wearing, and I know where I'm showing up. That's about it.
What are you wearing?
I have, speaking of denim, I have these Von Dutch jeans that are almost completely cut down the center.
How far up?
Like, I'd probably say about, like, upper thigh, and they're just fully cut down the center, so they're, like, the leg is open.
Okay.
And then
I'm trying to understand. It's like full cut.
Full cut. Like, it's
So
it's a pair of pants, and they're fully cut from, like, upper thigh all the way down to the bottom of the pant.
Okay.
Like, one big slit.
Both legs?
Both legs.
Okay.
And they have these little, there's, like, denim ties, I guess I'll say, that, like, or, like, strings, denim laces, denim, like, in that sort of world that you, like, tie together. And they create knots down the front of the pant.
Yeah. Like crossed?
No, it's like it's like if you just make a knot.
Oh, okay.
Going down the pant. Because it's not like laced.
Yeah.
But they are like I guess denim strings is the most accurate. But yeah, just strings that you like tie together.
And you can't untie them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can have it open
cool.
and free flowing. You can like tie it, and it's still like you can obviously see it's open, but there's like this like nice flow to them, and there's this openness. And I have these like strappy silver Calvin Klein heels I'm gonna like put on, and you know.
What's the top?
It's just like a little white tube top.
It's gonna be. I'm sounding like such a fucking. Is it gonna be warm enough? Or are you gonna wear like something over that?
Oh, it'll be warm enough.
You're just gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's the makeup situation? What's the fastest when you put on makeup? What's the fastest amount of time you can put on makeup and feel comfortable? And what's the longest amount of time that you've done it?
The shortest that I've gone in. Well, I did this in like 30 minutes today.
Yeah, it's fine.
I did this in like 30 minutes
Okay.
today. And I feel pretty comfortable and pretty confident walking out of the house like that. However, if I really want to luxuriate the process, like I'm probably going to go home and take all this off and then put on a brand new look just to go with the look for later.
Yeah. Color. You'll kind of like coordinate all that.
Make it look like give the vibe I want to give for the evening.
Yeah.
This like nice little soft brown wing is like daytime, and then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do like a full black smoky eye and like
What is the vibe?
I don't know, the vibe is just like sexy, fun, hot, a little bit mysterious, but like who's that? I want to be their friend.
Yeah.
Kind of is what I'm
Do
hoping
you ever
to
scratch
achieve.
people?
Yeah. If they ask.
If they ask?
Yeah.
Will you scratch me?
Yeah. I don't know, I like the feeling of it.
What's the ring? This one here.
This one, I forget the name
That's
of
cool.
the stone, but I got it in Salem, Massachusetts.
We show.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
I love all of my little bits and bobs.
Do you get your nails done somewhere? Or do
Yeah.
You just really?
Yeah.
Near your place? Near your apartment?
No, about an hour and 15 minutes away from me in Brooklyn.
Really? Yeah. How often?
Like every 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, and they stay on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, these are also my nails.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I grew them out.
That's amazing. You know what I appreciate about you? You're committed.
You know what? I really appreciate hearing that, because that is like my one thing. I'm like, I don't care how I look. Well, I care how I look, obviously, but like, I don't care what aesthetic I'm giving off as long as I'm committed 100% to that aesthetic. Like, if this is the aesthetic I want to do today, as long as I'm 100% committed to that aesthetic, I'm okay.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's, no matter what your style, lean in and do it really, really well.
Yes.
If you're going to do it half-assed, that's okay. But you're probably not going to get complimented by me.
And this is actually something that I did my second summer in the city. Me and my roommate were like, all right, we called it cuntifying our wardrobes. Because when serving cunt is like the highest level of fabulous someone can be in our verbiage,
Nice.
in our words.
Yeah.
Like when you are that bitch.
Yeah. I've been that
Yeah.
bitch. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know
absolutely.
if exactly, but I
absolutely.
when I put on a collar bar and I fucking leave the house in
Yeah.
red boots,
yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
off, dude.
so our like second summer in the city, we're like, all right, let's get rid of any clothes that don't serve us and don't serve our the aesthetics we want to achieve. And it was sort of it was an attempt to it was because we have like a safe style. Like a I could, you know, nothing, what I'm wearing is nothing special to us. What I'm wearing is nothing special. I don't want to ever leave the house in something that I don't think is special anymore. So we got rid of all of the clothes that were safety nets, sort of, and allowed our closet to just be the things that when we walked out, it was giving. It was, we
I love it.
You know, all this kind of stuff. So it almost also forced us to, you know, show up and show out in a way that we wanted to, but we would always find a way to like put on the safe clothes.
I love it.
We're like, no, let's get rid of the safe clothes.
That's intense. I mean, getting rid of the safe clothes, but I agree that like that your closet should be more items that you love.
And that's why I have a vanity closet in my room. It's
So
what
that
I
you-
refer to as my vanity closet because it's literally just like this double-decker coat hanger situation that I put all of like my current favorite pieces on for the current season, and I'll interchange it for the seasons. And it's just like something that I look at that, one, are clothes that I regularly pull from, and also two, clothes that inspire me to want to elevate what I'm wearing
For the people.
for the people, and for myself. Like this is when I go home, I will be putting this back on my vanity closet, and so it is there. And when you walk in my room, it's the first thing that anyone sees. And I have like my custom dress that I had made for myself for my opening night of House McQueen. I have a custom look that I made, which is just like this huge pearl necklace with
Get out.
yes, with like lavender stone embellishments, and this like little like swimsuit that I like made and embellished. So that's hanging on there. I have oh god, what else is on there right now? I have a lavender snakeskin trench coat on there right now. I have
That's fantastic.
yeah, I have vintage Warner Brothers Looney Tunes denim on there.
Huh.
I have a skirt that I stole from my mom on there that's like this gorgeous like wraparound green moment with fringe, and I have just all these different looks on there that one I look at and I'm like, yeah, that piece is fierce, and I look forward to when I get to put that on again. And also, you know, just like inspiration, and also I'm just like, oh, whoever has that closet is really cool. Oh wait, that's my closet. That person's really cool.
I love your style.
you.
I think you're cool.
Thank you. I think you're cool.
Great.
Hell yeah.
Just in time.